What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Hangout Spot where you already know it's real talk, boxing talk, live from my man cave. It's your boy Johnny. And let's talk boxing because today I have a very, very special guest. He is a bantamweight title contender with a record of 18-1 with 10 knockouts. He's a 2016 Olympian and a 2015 gold medal winner at the Pan American Games, and he's a fellow Floridian. He was born in Houston, but he lives in Kissimmee, I believe. And this December 13th, he will be the main event headliner at Caribe Royale, and he's fighting for the WBA interim bantamweight title against an undefeated opponent, a tough guy, Winston Guerrero. And we'll get into that in a second. But without further ado, I want to bring in one of my favorites, man. Hey. Bantamweight title contender Antonio Vargas. What's going on, my brother? Welcome to the Hangout Spot.
Thank you, man. It's nice to be here, man. I look forward to this talk.
No, listen, man. I've been a big fan of yours because I got to tell you, you are never ever in a boring fight, man.
Yeah.
All your fights are exciting. I was actually at your last fight in February. You will be the main event headliner on the 13th, fighting for a WBA interim title. I want to get into that, but before that, I want to kind of go back a little bit and talk about your journey to where it all started, right? So let's talk a little bit about that. Tell me, when did you start boxing and what inspired you to start boxing?
I started fighting when I was 9 years old, and the reason behind that is one of my teachers, I believe I was in the second grade. She said I was really hyper and I couldn't sit still and I was always getting in trouble. So they wanted to put me on ADHD medication. And I remember the principal and my teacher had a meeting with my father that day. And they're like, yo, your kid, he's out of control. So my dad was like, all right, we'll put him on the medication just to calm him down. And the next week he put me in a boxing gym. And then a couple weeks later, they're like, oh, man, the medication is working. Your son is calm. And my dad, he did the follow-up with the principal and the teacher. And they're like, nah, man, he's just a kid. Some kids have energy that needs to be burnt, and put me in boxing. And that was the reason why I started fighting. Was they wanted to put me on pills to calm me down. And, when I was 9, and little by little, I just fell in love with the sport, the competition, the push, and it kind of just took off from there.
Wow, that's a pretty unique story. You usually get a lot of fighters that'll say that they were either born into it, someone in their family was a fighter, they fought growing up, but that's pretty unique. That's a pretty unique story, man. That's what's up. And then obviously your road into the amateurs led you to the Olympics, right? Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, that was one of my goals, man. Just winning all these national tournaments, and as I got older and older, one of my goals was to make it on the Olympic team. And I was at the right age at that time to qualify for the Olympic team, and I had to beat everybody in the U.S. in my weight class. So I was ranked 1 in the United States at 114 pounds, but then I had to qualify overseas and place in the top 5. So when I think I qualified for the Olympics, it was in Azerbaijan. So I flew, man, to over there, and I got a silver medal, and I was able to lock in my spot to qualify me for the Olympics. It was a long road, man. Just I moved out to the Olympic Training Center in Colorado. I stood out there for 8 months. We trained for like a month or 2, and we go out, travel different countries as we prepared for the Olympic Games. And I didn't medal in the Olympics. I wanted a medal. I was going for the gold, but I lost my second day in the qualifiers. So right before the medal rounds, I actually lost to the gold medalist. He was from Azerbaijan as well. So a good fighter, man. But good experience. Just seeing all these different styles, going to all these different countries. That's definitely helped as a fighter, just with the experience, seeing so many different styles. That's one of the things that's helped me the most as a pro fighter, just to be able to adapt to different styles, because I didn't see a lot just in my amateur careers.
No, absolutely, absolutely. And not meddling, did it tempt you to maybe go back for another try, or after that, did you know immediately that you wanted to turn pro?
They wanted me to stay another 4 years, but I just didn't like the traveling, man. I was away from home for a while, and it was just, I was gone for almost a year from Florida, from my house and from my home, my family, and I'm like, man, if I got to do this another 4 years and a lot of traveling, I'm like, it wasn't for me. So when they asked me again, they said they're gonna pay me, make me a residence over there at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado. And I turned it down. I'm like, nah, man. And it's kind of good I did, man, because, obviously with the pandemic in 2020, they postponed the Olympics. So it was in 2021. So that was another year I would have to wait. So it's it wasn't for me, man. I'm glad that, I was able to do it the first time. I was still young. I was 19. I turned 20 during the Olympics. So I'm like, man, it's time for me to go pro. So that's what I did.
No, that you're right. And again, the pandemic did screw up a lot of things. So ultimately, you made the right choice. But and you said you live in Florida, but you were born in Houston, right?
Yeah, I started fighting when I was 9 to I think almost 12. So it was almost 3 years of me fighting in Texas. I had my first 24 fights, amateurs. And then I moved to Florida when I was around 12 years old, got a new start. And and basically I've been raised here ever since. I'm 28 now. So since I was 12. So it's been a little over 14 years that I've been here. So this is basically home for me.
And where do you train out of? What gym?
Heart of Warrior Boxing Gym. It's in
Awesome.
Florida.
Awesome. Stylistically, champ, did you model your boxing style from any of your favorite fighters, either past or present?
No, I wouldn't say I did. I just I don't know, just obviously it's amateurs. It's a different style, more of an in and out, points, punches, and then when you go pro, you kind of got to sit down on your punches. So I've always liked to be an explosive fighter. Fast, powerful, things I like to work on. So I've never really. I'll see certain things from certain styles, and if it works for me, I'll take little tools here and there I see from other fighters and kind of use it from my arsenal. But I've learned, man, every fighter has different styles. Some things that work for other fighters may not work for me. So I've learned to what works for me best and try to utilize and sharpen those tools to make me as effective as possible when I step in the ring against any style that I fight against.
No, absolutely, and that's what makes your fighting style so intriguing. It's entertaining to watch because you're a typical boxer puncher, but you got a lot of dog in you. And the reason why I say that, is because of your last fight in February. I was actually there on hand, and you fought a tough guy, Jonathan Rodriguez, Puerto Rican guy, and you faced some adversity in that fight. You went down in the first round, and then you lost 2 points, which is not we don't see that a lot in boxing. I mean, we see a point or whatever. I thought it was a little bit too much, 2 points, but either way, you face some adversity. He was a tough guy, strong guy, and you broke him down, man. You broke him down at the end of the seventh. Before the end of the seventh round, you put him down. He went to the corner. They didn't let him get back. They didn't let him come back out. So a seventh round TKO. So congratulations on that. But what did you take out of that last performance? What do you learn from yourself about yourself?
Man, I learned a lot that last fight, man. I remember in that first round, I got a little overconfident during the end of that first round because I didn't realize how slow he was. And I just remember the first round, anything I wanted to throw, I was able to land it. And his speed was I didn't realize how slow he was. I thought he was gonna come at me, and I was basically dictating the pace. So I remember the last 10 seconds. I remember in my mind, I'm like, man, this was an easy round. I'm gonna walk back to my corner, and I remember putting my hand. I'm like, this guy's not in range to touch me. He's too slow to touch me. And that was my first mistake, man. I got overconfidence, and he stepped in with a long overhand and caught me, boom, right in the chin. My hand was right down, so I remember he had buzzed me, and when I got up, I'm like, I just remember smiling because I'm like, man, I gave that to him. And I went to the corner, and my coach,
Yeah, you did
all
smile. I
right.
saw you smiling.
Yeah, I'm like, because in my mind, I'm like, damn, man, I gave him a free shot, and he caught me right in the chin, and I didn't think he was able to land it, but the way he stepped in, he threw a long overhand right, and first round, and I just got overconfident. I just remember in the corner, my coach, he was yelling at me. He's like, "Are you all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, coach, I'm good, man." He called me with a clean shot, and going into that second round, man, I was like, in my mind, I'm like, I gotta knock this guy out, man, and that was probably my first fight where I'm like, I was looking for the knockout. Every other fight, I think I've had like 7 fights. 5 of them fights have been knockouts. One fight didn't. We got headbutted, so it was no contest. I've only had one fight that went to distance. It was a 10-rounder. I dropped the guy twice, but he's a tough Mexican guy as well. And but this fight right here, I'm like, I was trying to knock the dude out. And the second round, I'm like, man, I got to redeem myself. So my mindset was like, I got to put this guy down. I'm gonna do everything I can to do it. So I was a little desperate for the knockout. Obviously, I was able to drop him in the second round because just my mindset just switched. I'm like, I got to get this knockdown back, and in doing so, I remember, when we're part of that, when I had dropped him, uh, I kind of hit him with a low blow, and from my perspective, like I thought he was like falling forward. So I'm like, man, let me pick this guy with uppercut because I couldn't see his knee. I could only see from the waist down because I was kind of at a close range. So I just remember him like falling forward. So I'm gonna pick this guy with uppercut, and I didn't see his knee, man. And I'm like, I talked to the guy after the fight. I'm like, hey, bro, I'm sorry, man. I was kind of in the heat of the moment. I didn't see you took a knee, man. I apologize because as a fighter, man, that's one thing that it's hitting a guy when it's low. It's like you don't do stuff like that, man. So I felt bad. I said I talked to him after the fight, and he's like, it's cool, man. And but just from that first round, man, like I said, I got overconfident. As the rounds went by, man, every round I was looking to stalk this dude. And I'm like, I gotta knock this dude out. And I was able to get the knockout, or the stoppage. Yeah, if this corner wouldn't stop that fight, man, it would have, because I felt good, man. It was going into the 8th round, and I still felt like, man, like I could have went the full 12. I felt really good, man. And so I definitely learned a lot about that fight. Overconfidence, not being too desperate for the knockout. And that fight definitely helped me to learn new things about myself. And like I said, I give God the glory, man, because God definitely he held me up, man. He gave me strength, man, because he hit me with a good shot and it buzzed me, but I was never in a state where I'm like, oh damn. And God definitely had his hand over me. So I just want to give credit, man, because I said Christ, man, he's my that's my guy right there. He kept me up. He gave me strength to finish the job and to get the victory. So thank God for that.
No, absolutely, man. Like I said, you showed a lot of grit, a lot of dog in you, and I didn't think that punch was done on purpose at all. In fact, Sergio Mora, I resaw the fight. Sergio Mora was saying the same thing. He didn't believe it
Yeah.
was a cheap shot. You guys are trained to hit until somebody is actually down on the ground.
Yeah, I didn't
But
even realize they took 2 points. I didn't realize that until after the fight. So
two
I didn't
points,
know
man.
that.
I
I didn't know
thought
I
it
was
was
down on the
drastic.
scorecards, but in my mind, I was just so like desperate to knock him out. I all that I didn't notice none of that.
No, man. Listen, like I said, it was a great performance, and it's crazy because usually you're right. Fighters will tell you that they never look for the knockout, but you could tell you were stalking them.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
thing kind of
right.
woke you up.
Yeah, definitely.
Great performance, man. Congratulations on that performance. And I'm here with bantamweight title contender Antonio Vargas. So let's get into December 13th because obviously that performance now led you into this fight right here. You're going to be the headliner at Caribe Royale. I believe the WBA Convention is going to be on that weekend as well. So there's going to be a lot of people in the building, and you're facing an undefeated guy from Nicaragua, I believe, Winston Guerrero, who's 22-0, and this is for the WBA interim bantamweight title, correct?
Yes, correct.
All right, man. So what do you expect? What type of fight are you expecting from Guerrero?
He's a slugger, man. He likes to come. He likes to fight. He kind of reminds me a little bit of like Mayorga. Throws wild punches. He likes to come forward and slug. So you know, that's kind of what I'm expecting. I train to, I could box, I could fight. So I really never know what I'm gonna do in the ring. I kind of feel my opponent out. Like I said, my last fight, I thought he was gonna come forward and put pressure. That's what I trained for, and he didn't do that. He was trying to box me, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna press this dude. But I was ready to fight. Just outbox him. So I could box and I could fight. So I trade for both styles. This guy, he's kind of he's a tough dude. He likes to come forward. I don't think he can box too much. Like I said, he's more comfortable coming forward. So um, I'm gonna just see, man. Like I said, once I get in the ring, I usually adapt to the style, and I see different openings. You kind of see when you look at video, you see different things from the outside, but it's a different story when you're on the inside. Right in front of the guy. So as the rounds go, man, I'll just start looking for openings. If I gotta press the guy, back him up, break them down, I'll do that. If I got to box them, you know, hit and move and see openings and take advantage, I'll do that. So I'm prepared, man. If I got to box, if I got to fight, either one, I'm fine with. I train for both styles, so just whatever he does, I'm kind of just go from there and just adapt.
No, I hear you, and you're right about his style. I'm expecting him to come right after you,
Yeah.
right at you. Is going to make for a firework fight. Have you done anything different in this camp compared to other camps?
No. Obviously, we trained for 12 rounds. You know, my last fight, you know, was my first 12 rounders. Kind of the same thing in a sense of you know, because every training camp is different in a sense. You know, some things I feel like I got to work on this, I'll work on that. But like I train two different styles. I train if I got to sit there and bang for 12 rounds, I'm ready to do that. If I got to, you know, hit and move for 12 rounds, I'm ready to do that. So it's I'm basically kind of doing the same things. You know, the sparring and stuff like that. You know, I just try to find work similar to what I think he's gonna bring. You know, pressure fighters. You know, boxing. You know, so I just like to have, you know, different game plans and just to train for you know, any style, any matchup, and just definitely working more on my fundamentals, making sure I'm keeping my hands up, making sure I'm not getting hit with any shots. You know, being alert. Like my last fight, I want to make sure I don't get overconfident. Not get hit with anything that I'm not supposed to get hit with. You know, as a fight, you get hit with shots, but I don't want to give anything for free like I did that last fight. So definitely working on, you know, keeping the hands up, and I feel like I've done a good job doing that. So.
No doubt, no doubt. So tell me, how does this fight end on the 13th?
Uh, I'm not sure, man. You know, I'm looking to, you know, say God arms me with strength. So I'm looking to. I don't think this fight's gonna go to distance. I see the guy he likes a lot of openings that I see. Um, so like I said, you know, whenever I see, just take advantage of the fight. I'm just looking to break this guy down. If he wants to come forward, it's, you know, it's might make it a little easier for me. So he's longer than me, so you know, it might, you know, yeah. So I don't know. Personally, I don't think he's gonna go to distance. But like I said, I'm ready for 12 rounds. I've done, you know, all my rounds. You know, I feel great. You know, I'm still, you know, I'm at my peak right now, and I still got 2 more weeks left of hard training. Last week, take it easy, let my body recover, make the weight, and so either way, man, it's definitely gonna be a good fight, man. It's not gonna be a boring fight. The guy, he said, you know, his style, he likes to come, he likes to put pressure. So I'm the same way, man. I like to fight too. So it's definitely gonna be interesting fight. A lot of fireworks.
Hear that, man. I'm looking forward to it. I will be live on hand to check you out. I think it's going to be an absolutely a sensational fight. So I wish you nothing but the best, champ. I know you don't want to look ahead. You know, you're concentrating on this fight right now, but right now you're number one in the WBA. You know,
Mhm.
for the champion, Seiya Tasumi. If you win this fight, would you want that fight next?
Yeah, that's been the plan the whole time. I was supposed to fight and you, the guy that, you know, that you said that he had the WBA title. I was supposed to fight him, you know, my last fight, but come to find out, they were just giving us the runaround. He was avoiding me. He didn't want to fight. So the whole purpose of this fight was to rank me up higher, so that if he kept running, they're gonna strip him of his belt if he don't want to fight me, because he was supposed to fight me my last fight, and he didn't. He fought this dude, and the dude he fought, he ended up losing. So you know, I've been ready to fight for that world title to go to Japan. Like I said, you know, he was just the guy knew he didn't want to fight. So he said obviously he lost, so I don't have to, you know, worry about him no more. Just, you know, after I take care of this guy right here, then, you know, definitely that's been my goal, man, to fight for the world title and, you know, just get the belts one by one and become undisputed at 118. So that's my goal. That's what I'm working. That's what I'm building up for. And you know, I'll have it, man. By, you know, by the grace of God, I know it's gonna be mine one day.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I want you to be able to unify multiple titles, because there's another guy in that division that I see you on a collision course with, Junto Nakatani, and that
Oh
would be an
yeah, yeah,
absolutely big fight, man. Do you see
yeah.
that happening in the future sometime?
No, definitely, man. Like I said, once I fight for this, you know, like I said, once I get past this guy, you know, once I start winning these world titles, WBA, I'm definitely looking forward to fighting, that guy Junto, because my goal is to get all the belts. If I could fight for them, if I could fight back to back, I'll do so. So whatever my promotional company is looking to do, I'm ready. So I'm always, I train year round. I'm always in shape. You know, I got a good diet. I'm always ready. So I'm not running, man. I just wanna get them belts, man, and I want to fight the best. I want to become the best in my weight class, and you know, just show people who I am and the God that I serve, the God, you know, Christ that gives me strength, you know, to get these victories. So that's what I'm looking to do in this sport. To, like I said, glorify my King Jesus, and you know, get everything He has in store for me, that I could, you know, give Him the honor and the respect that He deserves as my God that I serve.
My man, I love it. I absolutely love it. And I think your future is extremely bright. But you know what? First things first. December 13th, handle your business there, and then we can move on to bigger and better things. But before I let you go, I got a few questions for
Mhm.
Antonio Vargas, the man outside of the ring. We've heard a lot about you inside the ring. Now let's talk a little bit about you outside the ring. So I got some questions here that I think my viewers and your fans would love to know about you. What do you like to do in your spare time?
I'm a really simple person, man. I got a family. You know, I've been married 8 years. I got a wife, beautiful wife, man. I got 2 children. I got a daughter. I got a 1-year-old son. I'm very family oriented. You know, everything I do revolves around my family. You know, I'm very simple, man. You know, we go out. You know, I just like to take my family. You know, just enjoy the beauty of life. And you know, I think my favorite time to do in my spare time, like one of my hobbies, I like to study the Word of God, the Bible. Um, you know, that's what I like to do. You know, just the fact that you see that this world, man, that God created this world, and that the creator of this world became a human as Jesus to come in fellowship and to manifest Himself as a God man, and that through Him, that you know, we could have life and life more abundantly. He came to die for our sins, and that we could build that relationship back with God. That just, you know, as humans, you know, we have a fallen nature. You know, we do things we shouldn't do, and you know, that's one of my favorite things to do, man, in my spare time. Just study my Bible, you know, just time in prayer and just draw near to God. And one goal of mine is to be a good example, man, because everybody's had a friend or somebody that they know that's a hypocrite. You know, you claim to be this, but you live a lifestyle contradictory to what you believe in. And I just want people to see the love of Christ in me. I want people to see, you know, what I stand for. And like I said, I stand for Christ. That's my God. He saved me. He transformed my life. And if it wasn't for Him, man, I wouldn't be boxing. I found God. I found Jesus through boxing. He changed my life. It gave me discipline. It gave me structure. I got a beautiful family. And, you know, like I said, man, I got a bright future ahead of me. And like I said, man, I think about this every day, but it's all glory to Jesus, man. He set me aside. He gave me a purpose, that I'm fulfilling my purpose, and with my purpose is become a champion and honor God. I just want people to see the light of Christ, that He is a way, He's God, and that He wants to build a relationship. He wants people to turn to Jesus, and that through Him, man, He wants that fellowship, that we have everlasting life once we pass from this life to the afterlife. So that's one of my favorite things to do. Just study, draw near to God, and just build that relationship, man. That's my favorite thing to do in my spare time.
Amen. Amen. And shout out to the wife. Make sure you give her my best.
Yeah.
You know, she helped facilitate this interview. So
Thank
uh,
you.
make sure you give her my best. What do you like any other sports besides boxing?
Um, no, not really, man. I watch a little UFC. But no, boxing. That's my main sport, man. Combat sports, basically boxing, a little bit UFC here and there. But no, I'm not really into the other sports like that.
All right. All right. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. Favorite foods?
Favorite food? I couldn't really say, man. I just I like to eat clean, man. You know, my body this is a machine, and I take care of it. And said I'm not, man. Thank God for my wife, man, because my wife, you know, she preps all my meals, man. So I'm not too picky, man. As long as it's clean, you know, keeps my body feeling good. That's what I go after. So
All
I
right.
can't
All
really
right.
put a specific favorite food.
Favorite movie?
I'm not a movie person.
No.
No, I don't watch TV. I don't watch movies. I'm very simple, man. Yeah.
Give me. It's all right. So give me one thing that your fans don't know about you. Maybe a hidden talent.
Um, One thing that I've been I guess like a hidden talent that I didn't know I had. I'm kind of into like spoken word poetry, and
Okay.
I just found this about myself. I just found this out about myself like maybe like a couple years ago, and my whole life, I've never been like been able to write or poetry or but that's always something that intrigued me, like being lyrically sound, able to put sentences together, rhyming, have a message. But that's something I think with these last couple of years that I've noticed, that's kind of been in my mind. Like, okay, and I'll write certain things down when I feel something in my head, like a message, a poem, spoken word. I kind of that's something that I've kind of been working on lately. I would like to work on it a little bit more, but I'm so consumed with training, and I got a family, and having a son, man. My son's everywhere, man. He takes a lot of time for me too. So, but poetry, spoken word, that's definitely something that's new to me, and definitely want to work on that gift.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
I'll and the last one for me, obviously in the spirit of Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
Favorite Thanksgiving dish.
Thanksgiving dish. I like the stuffing, man. That's that
So do I.
with the uh, with the pumpkin pie, man. That's one of my favorite things for Thanksgiving. But I probably skip that because I got this fight coming up. So
I know. I was just
keep
gonna
my
say that, man. Not your normal Thanksgiving with the fight coming in December, right?
yeah. So I'm like, let me not, man. I'll probably have some of the turkey. That's some lean protein right there, some vegetables, and keep the body good. And I don't want to gain too much weight. So I got about 3 more weeks left. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm ready.
I hear that, man. No, this was an absolute blast. What do you want to tell your fans? What do you want to tell your fans, and where can they find you on social media?
Social media, it's Antonio Vargas 777 on Instagram. Antonio Vargas on Facebook. I got a blue check mark next to on my Instagram and my Facebook. And like I said, the number one thing I want to leave with my fans, yeah, it's not about me. It's bigger than me. My goal as a fighter is to spread the gospel, to share the light of the world is Christ. That Christ is a God, man. That's God in the flesh. He came. He wanted it. He died for us so we can have a relationship and a fellowship with Him. And that if you're looking for God, man, he's there. Just come to Him. The Bible says, "Draw near to God, and He will draw near to you." So my words to people that are watching this: there's a God. He revealed Himself as Jesus. There's Jesus Christ, and that if you seek Him, build that relationship with Him, you'll be saved. Once you die, you'll spend eternity with Him. So that'd be my main focus as a fighter. That's my platform. Everything I do is for the glory of Jesus, and that's just what I want to leave my fans. Just seek Jesus. He's the way, the truth, and the life. He's the only way to God, and that's the way. He changed my life, and He could change yours too. So that'd be my main message for my fans.
Champ, this was an absolute blast, man. It really
Amen.
was. And one thing I'm going to tell you, and I tell mostly everybody that comes onto this channel, once you come to the Hangout Spot, you're family, man. And you
Amen.
are always welcome back. Hopefully, after this victory, I can
Amen.
get you back on, and we could talk about that interim title, and we could talk about the future, man.
I
But
look forward to it, man. Definitely.
no, absolutely. And for my viewers, if you're new to watching my videos, I don't know what you're waiting for. Make sure you subscribe to the Hangout Spot. This is how we do it up. But anyhow, like I said, this was an absolute honor. Thank you for taking the time. I know that you're in the middle of training, so I'm going to let you go, let you get back to doing what you're doing, let you get ready, and I will see you in 3 weeks, December 13th. Again, I am here with Bantamweight title contender Antonio Vargas, who will be fighting the main event December 13th, Caribe Royale against Winston Guerrero for the WBA interim title. So make sure you tune in or buy your tickets.
All right.
Anyhow,
Thank you.
like I said, this is your boy Johnny, from the Hangout Spot signing out with Antonio Vargas, and I'll talk to everybody soon.